Welcome to Spark Faith with me, Dr. Kris Sargent. This show is about renewed health, rooted in truth, and restored by grace. What does finding health look like for you? Do you have a vision for your future self and a way to get there? I'm Dr. Kris, and after 33 years in functional medicine and a lifelong journey through brain health, weight loss, hormones, mindset, and faith, I know that real transformation doesn't come from willpower or white-knuckling your way to wellness. It comes from gratitude, honoring your body as the temple that God created. This show is about body stewardship, not shame. It's about rewiring your mindset, your metabolism, and your spirit to find lasting health without the grind. I'll help you cut through the noise, see opportunities instead of obstacles, and finally live the healthy, purposeful life you were created for. Let's spark faith and transformation together. Spark Faith starts now. Hey, everybody. This is Dr. Kris Sargent. Welcome back to the Spark Faith Show. I am super excited to be here, and I am also feeling a little crazy. I am getting married in 8 days, 9 days. Yeah, something like that. So life has gotten a little bit hectic, and today we're going to talk about things that nobody told you about your metabolism. And, I've been on this journey with my own metabolism and changing some things around. If you've been listening in, I definitely have my own journey that has started, pretty much is the reason that I ended up in functional medicine so many years ago. Was honestly a little on the selfish side, right? I just wanted to figure out myself. And I knew that God really made a great design, and I just needed to work with my design and not against it. So we are going to talk about metabolism today. I am going to do my best to hang in there and stay focused and all the things today while I'm traversing this amazing and wonderful time. Anyway, so today, nobody told you about your metabolism. So the first thing you need to think about is your metabolism is not a weight loss system. I know that that's like, well, wait a minute. We talk about metabolism around weight loss all the time and how we feel like, oh, well, my metabolism is slowing down and I have no metabolism anymore. And the thing about your metabolism is it is a whole body system. Right? This is not just a system that God stuck in your body to help you lose weight. Like that's not even a thing. So in terms of what his purpose and his dealings with us are about, it's about really, it's our life support system, right? Our metabolism is our life support system. And when we are out of balance in our life support system, then guess what? Losing weight is going to be a whole different adventure, and one that will absolutely backfire if you don't take the whole metabolism into account. So the biggest metabolism myth, I think, is that some things that you haven't been taught in the right way, right? It's not that you're wrong necessarily. However, I think that that I love physiology and I want to teach you how it works. So a lot of us, including myself, right, for a long time, even though I know the physiology, sometimes it's really hard to apply it to yourself. And I think I've said that before, like that's why I had to get a coach, because I couldn't see through and couldn't see what I couldn't see anymore. And so a lot of us thought that metabolism was about burning calories, losing weight, speeding up fat loss, right? Maybe we're not about losing the pounds, but we just want to lose the fat. And like the whole, well, muscle weighs more than fat. A pound is a pound is a pound. So I just need to get you up to speed on that if I have not said that before, because if you take a pound of fat and put it on a scale, it weighs a pound. And if you take a pound of muscle and put it on a scale, it still weighs a pound. The difference between the two is fat tends to be a little fluffier, right? It takes up more space, where muscle is a little bit tighter and it doesn't take up as much space. And so we're all about trying to get smaller and lose the fat, right? And in the interim, we've like gotten that all mixed up in our heads, and we're losing fat and muscle and we don't even know what part we're losing. So when the scale doesn't move, you might assume that your metabolism is broken or slow or you're old or all these things that may or may not be true. And so let's take a broader view of what metabolism actually is, because it is so much bigger than weight loss, right? Here's the thing. Your metabolism is responsible for energy production. It's responsible for repairing your tissues. Your metabolism is responsible for balancing your hormones and regulating your immune system, right? Your metabolism allows you to think. It helps you recover. It keeps you alive. So I think that broadening our view of the whole, right? That's what functional medicine is about, right? It's about the whole body and how the whole body functions together. So metabolism is not primarily about weight loss. It's about your life. And I've talked about this on a very broad scope. And I keep bringing it into metabolism, but I keep bringing it from the point of your nervous system or your immune system. But in whole, that's your metabolism. So I want to kind of shift the way that you think about your body and how it all works together. And just realize that that is what functional medicine is about, is optimizing how your body functions as a whole, right? Not just about getting you to lose weight. Yes, if that's something that we need to do, then what part of the weight are we going to lose and where is that going to come from, right? So that's a whole other conversation that we will have either in the Living Fresh Collective and probably a little bit here too. But metabolism is obviously not what you might think it is. And when you hear the word metabolism, right, what do you think of, right? You think about calories and fat burning and weight loss and every heartbeat, every breath, every thought, every muscle contraction, every immune response, anything that requires energy is your metabolism. Like, think about it like a speedometer, right? It's not, but think about this. Like, metabolism is the engine. Metabolism is the transmission, right? We shift gears. Metabolism is the computer and the electrical system that allows everything to work together. When you push that button for your air conditioner to come on, that's part of the electrical system, right? Think about the navigation system. Think about the fuel system. Think about the little squirty stuff that comes out of your windshield wipers, right? That's the entire vehicle. And so if one system is struggling, the whole vehicle is going to feel it, right? If your transmission can't change into a higher gear, right? You may not be getting enough energy, right? If you can't change gears, then the whole vehicle is going to feel that, and you're going to know that as the driver. And so you're not just this calorie burning machine, right? Your car doesn't just burn fuel and that's all it does. It does a lot of other things for you, especially now, right? With all the Apple CarPlay and all the Alexa stuff, like your car does a lot more things than it ever used to do. It doesn't just get you from point A to point B, right? Some of us, it's also our dining table. And maybe we need to think twice about that. And I am guilty of that. There's a little mirror right here. Like, yep, I definitely eat in my car too many times. So anyway, but you are a living, adaptive, biological system. And that distinction really matters because we're not a car, right? We can't just go in and change parts. put in a new transmission. We have to create that transmission. And when we reduce our metabolism to just weight loss, we're missing everything else that our body is trying to do. So think about this. Your body is running an entire city, right? That's what it's doing. Your body isn't just sitting around waiting to burn calories. It's busy, right? It operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Whether you're sleeping or waking or stressed out or not stressed out, sitting on the couch, running errands, all the things. So let's think about our city as in our body, right? We have the infrastructure, right? We've got our heart, we've got lungs, we have circulation, we have temperature regulation, we have the communication department. Those are hormones and neurotransmitters. There's a whole bunch of cytokines and peptides and all these things that communicate inside the cell and outside the cells and around the body. We have nervous system signals. That's also part of communication. We have the construction department, right? We got a city, we got to do some construction. I live in Nashville, and let me tell you, everything is always under construction here. We have muscle repair, we have tissue healing, and we have bone remodeling. Like your bones are not the same bones that you had yesterday. They are constantly in flux, remodeling and remaking the bones to the stressors that are given. We have a security department. We have the immune system. We have inflammation control, like crowd control, right? We have inflammation control. We have infection surveillance, right? Homeland Defense, right? We have our waste management department, our liver, our kidneys, our small intestine, large intestine, detoxification pathways, thousands and thousands of jobs, millions of decisions every single day. And I know that y'all may become kind of frustrated because if you're not losing weight, you're thinking that your body isn't doing anything. But honestly, that's not entirely true, right? Nothing actually could be further from the truth because your body is constantly working. The question isn't, is my body working? It's how well are all the systems, right? All the departments working together. And that's a totally different question because when those systems are overwhelmed, your body definitely is going to start communicating, but the messages are going to be different than when your systems are under control and doing well. It's like an overheated car, right? Or it's a construction backup, right? Or it's your immune system, the defense system is on overload. You've put in too many toxins, you've been exposed to too many viruses, you've been exposed to too many bacteria. You're now maybe making antibodies to yourself, like there's some autoimmune stuff going on. Like if your systems are overwhelmed, your body will communicate with you. And that communication is what we feel as symptoms. And so this may be one of the most important things I say today because a lot of us have been trained to view symptoms as enemies instead of information, right? Fatigue, brain fog, something we have to fight, right? Cravings. I have to fight my cravings. I have to fight poor recovery, which seems like that's like the opposite thing of what recovery is all about. We're not fighting recovery. We have to ease into recovery, right? We fight our mood changes. We fight inflammation. And we want everything to be done at the instant that we think about it, like we get a text and we can change the direction, right? And that's just not really the way our body will ever work. Our body is not a phone in some ways, but we're at the car analogy right now. It's a little more analog. So, what if your symptoms are actually information? So, let's get back to our car because the last thing we want to see when we start our car is what? The check engine light, right? And when we see that, we may want to take a hammer and just smash the light, right? That doesn't really solve the problem. No, you don't have to look at the light anymore. However, maybe we should investigate the system. The warning light isn't the problem. The symptoms aren't the problem. The warning light is just communicating a problem. And your body works kind of the same way, right? Fatigue could communicate insufficient recovery. Maybe you haven't given yourself time, or maybe you're putting too much on your systems. And there's not, even if you give it time, you're not giving it enough time, or you just keep putting more and more on, right? Maybe fatigue is inflammation. And we need to figure out, where is that inflammation coming from? Is it some gut issue? Is there a latent infection somewhere? Do you have an autoimmune disorder that we're not aware of and that's really taking a lot of energy out of your system? Maybe you're not getting good sleep. And then that's another line of questioning that we have to figure out how to get a hold of better sleep, because that would definitely undergird inflammation. It's going to undergird recovery. So, like cravings, maybe cravings are communicating energy instability. You're skipping meals, you're not eating enough at meals. You're trying to do some fasting that may or may not work for your body. It may be that you're deficient and you haven't seen a functional medicine doctor to know what you're deficient in. And those are really important if you don't know what you're deficient in. And you're just like, you've got the Whole Foods cabinet, right? Where all the supplements that you've tried all these things, but until you actually find a functional medicine doctor that can help you understand your deficiencies, you're kind of shooting in the dark a little bit. So some of those cravings just may be nutrient needs. They may be stress adaptation. And they may be emotional eating, right? Like you're craving because you've got something emotional going on. And instead of dealing with the emotional things, you're just eating your feelings. And, there's a time to eat your feelings. However, it is a conscious thing, not something that you just go and grab. You're like, oh, no, what's going on in my emotions? Yes, I'm going to go eat my feelings. Or no, I don't need to eat my feelings. I need to go take a walk. Or I need to do something more constructive instead of eating my feelings. So brain fog could communicate overload for sure. For sure. Decision fatigue, right? Too many things coming at you and your brain just is like, no, we're not doing this. We're all we see is a fog of decisions. It could be poor recovery, back to the poor sleep thing, or it can be disrupted physiology. So the symptom is not always the problem. Sometimes the symptom is just the messenger. So maybe instead of asking, what's wrong with me? What if you ask yourself, like, oof, what might my body be trying to tell me? Right? That way you're not so frustrated, but you can get curious. And curiosity is sometimes where the healing can really begin, in some honest self-reflection. And I know we talk about honest self-reflection quite a bit here. And I know that feels a little in your face. And this is not to bring up shame or guilt or any of that. This is just to say, hey, what can you shift? Right? So why do we end up fighting our body? Right? I know I have fought my body for many years. And it doesn't help. And it ends up making me, anyway, feel like I'm not enough or doing enough. And that just feeds into that whole negative cycle that God is not the way God made me to be. He made me enough. I am enough. So, but we tend to fight our hunger. We fight fatigue. We fight aging. Okay, I'm definitely guilty of that one. We fight our symptoms, right? Like, oh, I'm tired. Give me some caffeine. And we fight weight changes, and some of it can be normal, but some of it is a symptom of what's going on. So your body has been working for you every single moment since you've been born, and it's never stopped trying to protect you. It may not always respond the way you want, but it's constantly adapting and compensating and trying to keep you alive. So, what if the goal isn't to fight harder? What if the goal is to understand better? And that's a whole different relationship with your body. And honestly, with what I've experienced over the last few months, it's so much healthier to go, okay, I'm not going to fight this. However, what do I need to change, whether it's my macros or my exercise, lifting, not running so much anymore? Like, what do I need to change? And I've changed some things that I swore I would never be able to. Like running was my sanity, but now I found some sanity elsewhere. So honestly, it's just a healthier place to be when you're not fighting harder and your goal is to understand more and staying curious, right? And so this is where I think, anyway, physiology meets faith. And the biblical idea of stewardship begins with understanding. You can't steward something you don't really want to learn about. And you can't care for something that you continually view as the enemy, right? You're not going to care for, you don't really want to care for your enemy. And if you think you're your enemy, then you're not going to be able to care for yourself as well. And here's the cool thing. God designed the body with remarkable, unbelievable, hard to comprehend intelligence, not perfection. All right. This is not invincibility. This is not what social media says we're supposed to look like, but incredible adaptability. And stewardship isn't obsessing over every symptom. It isn't controlling every outcome. It's really about learning how the body was designed, how it communicates, and how to respond differently and wisely. Instead of pushing and forcing and punishing and overriding, right? So, stewardship, take a breath, begins when we stop treating our body as a problem to solve and start treating it as a gift to understand. So, I hope that I've redefined metabolism today. We will be talking more about interoception and predictability and some of those kind of things, but I wanted to make sure that you had a full view of what your metabolism was all about before we took in something that's a little bit deeper into physiology. If you're not ready to start that, if you really don't have that curiosity view, then the deeper work isn't going to make sense. So you may have to listen to this one a couple times for it to sink in, but our metabolism is running all the time. And our body is very finely tuned, and it's just adapting to whatever the patterns are that are in your life. And so knowing that, like, okay, then it's time to get curious, not feel guilty or feel shame about what you are doing. Shift the things that you have control over, right? So we know that metabolism is not calorie burning, it's not weight loss. It's really it's about keeping you alive. And next week, we're going to talk about some things that nobody ever told you about stressors on your body, because stress isn't always the enemy. All right. Your body's designed to handle stress. Absolutely. And why does stress become so overwhelming at times? And that's where we're going to go next. So I love you guys so much. We've had a great time today. Just remember that your metabolism is not your body's ability to lose weight. It's your body's ability to create and repair and adapt and communicate and recover and sustain life and vitality. And when we can get curious and start to understand that, then we can stop fighting our bodies and begin really stewarding them and rewarding the metabolism that we've been given and optimize it. So this is a great foundation episode. I hope you listen again. I love you guys so much. Let's renew our health, rooted in truth and restored by grace. I'll see you next time. Love you guys. You've been listening to Spark Faith with me, Dr. Kris Sargent. This show is about renewed health, rooted in truth, and restored by grace. Tune in every Thursday morning at 9:30 a.m. Pacific on the Transformation Talk Radio for more simple, faith-fueled steps to live the vision God placed in your heart. Are you ready to take the next step? Schedule a discovery call or connect with me at drkrissargent.com. That's DRKRIS Sargent.com. While you're there, download my free ebook, Endless Energy, the 6 non-negotiable keys to endless energy, and sign up for an upcoming masterclass. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share the show, and I'd love to connect with you on social media at Dr. Kris Sargent. Let's keep sparking faith and transformation together. Can't wait to see y'all next time.